Number in a new report from Oklahoma Senator Tom Coburn. That report says over the past decade, VA hospitals have handed over a lot of money to veterans' families because of medical malpractice.
It's money that you ended up paying. 2 News anchor Justin Wilfon is tracking your tax dollars.
A military man through and through.
Loved serving. He loved his job.
20 years in the United States Air Force, a Vietnam veteran, and a loving husband to his wife and 3 daughters.
One born in Hawaii, one born in Ohio, and one born in Maine.
Raymond Spear lived an incredible life that his wife says was cut short because of poor care at the Muskogee VA hospital.
Failure? Absolutely. They just didn't care.
In November of 2011, Raymond was admitted to the Muskogee VA for dangerously high potassium levels. That's when his wife says Raymond waited to see a doctor.
By this time, my husband was in very bad shape.
Finally, after 48 hours, she says a doctor came to his room, and by then, she says it was too late. He died several days later after being transferred to a Tulsa hospital.
It's hard to live with. The people that we had worked so hard for, that he loved the military, and they failed him. Flat out failed him.
Judith wanted to file suit against the VA, but didn't.
You can't find an attorney anywhere in Oklahoma that will go against the federal government in court.
However, it appears many people did find an attorney. According to this VA oversight report released by Oklahoma Senator Tom Coburn, the VA paid out nearly $1 billion to veterans and their families in medical malpractice cases over the past decade. With the average doctor making just under $200,000, the VA could have hired more than 5,000 doctors and paid their salaries for 1 year with the $1 billion they handed out in malpractice cases. 2 News made multiple requests over 2 weeks to interview a VA spokesperson for this story, but no one was made available by our deadline. Judith says she's never heard from the VA either. No explanation for the doctor's delay in seeing her husband. Now she's left with a life of missing her military hero.
Every day, but only his physical presence because he's still there.
Justin Wilfon, 2 News works for you.
Justin, thanks. Senator Coburn's report says that nearly 1,000 veterans' deaths have been linked to some kind of substandard care. Service, the report says, was inappropriate or insufficient.
Veterans care could soon get better. House and Senate lawmakers, liberals and conservatives, compromised and made a deal to end the long waits suffered by U.S. veterans. Part of the $17 billion plan is to use private doctors. The compromise plan should mean shorter waits for care. Vets can go to private doctors paid for by the VA if they don't live near a VA clinic or were on a waiting list. Lawmakers say they can get the compromise passed this week.
Earlier this month, the 2 News investigators sat down with U.S. Senator Jim Inhofe to discuss his efforts to keep funding for a new Tulsa VA facility. 27 VA clinics are getting major improvements to provide care. Tulsa's clinic was on the list, then removed until Inhofe spoke up.
There's a little mystery behind why it was taken off. And there were 27, and that was taken off and made it 26. And I called up the chairman in the House of the House Veterans Committee, and they agreed in conference to put it back on.
Our veterans coverage continues right now online. You can read and watch several veteran stories on our website and share your own. Join the conversation on KJRH.com.